Hello everybody. Today I'd like to talk about how good, how important the drawing is, and there's no reason to hesitate to investigate and learn and study with the pencil in hand. So this is a drawing of a Rembrandt, by the way, rather very unexpected. I came across this in one of the museums in Europe, and it was absolutely unexpected kind of drawing from Rembrandt. I've never seen anything like that. And it's just small, maybe 6 by 6 inches. And you can see there's obviously two different directions where he takes these drawings. So the first one I think is on the right, the one which is done with the red chalk, and it is a sketch of the man in emotion. But then I can see that he's not as satisfied with the decisions and most likely understanding what the figure must do in order to propagate that powerful movement he has. So he started doing this. And you can see in this example that it's much more structural. It's more, let's use this so we can see that. So let's take a red so we can see. So here example, how soft this line here is, and then what's a different approach to that we're having now. Then the leg of the angle of the leg is kind of straight down. Here is much more tension in this leg. Look at that movement here, and very weak and quiet here. So this is example of defining the power of the movement structurally, much less than anatomical. So very little attention is paid to anatomy, is much more attention paid to the structure, which will exaggerate the movement. Again, it's unexpected from Rembrandt, but the purpose of this particular drawing is pure study of the movement, of the motion, how to reproduce that. I would like to show you another one, which, from my point of view, represents a little more complex study. So if we look at this drawing, which is again Rembrandt, and this particular drawing, I absolutely adore, I love, and I copied it many times. And this is a group of people taking the body of Christ, obviously, because it's all biblical in that time and in him. A group of people taking the body of the Christ, moving it, let's say, carrying it somewhere else. So what's important here is not just the study of how, again, let's open the pen here. So here it's important not just how heavy this body lays in between carrying figures. See that? Supporting all that mass. Four different directions. At the same time, it's a compositional study. It's a study of space, how to show the depth by juxtaposing positions of the people in the space. Again, very little worry about anatomy or specifics of how realistic the drawing is. It's all, again, in this case, about the movement. How this figure supports the weight of the head. And the head, you see that the head goes down. There's a nose and eyes. Then the body hangs until this person supports it. Then from here, it travels all the way to the other guy who spreads his leg in order to support that. This one guy is obviously pulling it. See that? It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I can sculpt this because the space here is very clear. Maybe I should sculpt that. At the same time, it's an emotional drawing, and you can see that figure. Let's zoom on it because it is absolutely beautiful, this crying man. Look at that. Very few strokes, very few touches, and it shows the man who is in despair, and obviously he's crying, he's keeping his voice down or whatever. It's very difficult for him to hold to it, but that's all to it. He is just emotion, pure emotion. Again, compositionally, it's set aside, so it gives a much more space in between in between two parts of the composition. And again, you see, he needed another space, so he had a piece of paper. So it's all kosher, He did it, Hakusai did it, Velasquez did it. All the guys did it. If we need another piece of space, they just added a piece of paper. So again, this is a beautiful example of study, thinking with a pencil, in this case, pen in hand, trying to realize how to transcend the meaning of the three-dimensional space into two-dimensional piece of paper, on top of which it's very emotionally charged. So, copy, don't hesitate, and worry very little about anatomy, because at the end, it's not what's important. I think emotional impact is much more important. Okay? See you next time. Thank you. Hello, my name is Simon Kogan. I have been a sculptor longer than I can remember. I have over 13 years of Russian academic training, MFA, and apprenticeship under my dear teacher Isaac Brodsky. I am very excited to share everything I have learned over the years with you in this course. Sculpting is creating a new form of life, not a copy of existing world. Sculpture is the witness to that experience. In the first week, you will learn how to see as a sculptor. You will draw, you will walk the line to learn what you see, and you will sculpt what you have learned. In week 2, I will introduce the box concept. This is the foundation for your freedom sculpting any figure in any space. This will be the road to understand and to succeed in sculpting not the surface, but the core of new reality. Week 3 will be all about anatomy, but not the anatomy you expect. You will learn about joints, mechanics of the joints, muscles, and their place in space. I will simplify the complex, vast anatomy to a concentrated minimum any sculptor will ever need. I will illustrate it in 2 and 3-dimensional form. Week 4 will be our victory round. You will be taking all the knowledge that you accumulated in these previous weeks, and you will sculpt the new world, seen and created by you. Sculpting loose is misunderstood. From now on, you will be sculpting unconstrained, liberated from common standards. Your sculpture will have a new truth and a new reality.